This is a quick video about school in Canada, elementary and high school. So a lot of times new immigrants are surprised to know this. Number one, there's no national system of education in Canada. So how does it work? Each province has its own system. They're similar but slightly different. Number two, public schools offer different quality of education. So it means that depending on which specific school your child goes to, they can get better education or they can get worse education. When you're coming to Canada, it's very important that you do the research, you look at all the schools in that city or town where you're immigrating and choose a good one. Now, it is considered parents' responsibility to make sure the child gets a good education. So in Canada, there are three choices that any parent can make. Send them to a public school, send them to a private school, or educate them at home. It is perfectly fine if you make that choice, but there's a way to go around about it. Okay, now, when you're choosing a public school, as I already mentioned, choose a good one. Something to keep in mind is that there are waiting lists for popular schools. So if you found a good school, make sure you enroll your child in that school early, before the beginning of the school year. Because if you come right on time, you'll be late. Okay, now also Canadian schools have what is called extracurricular activities. Now, what does it mean? So these activities take place outside of school hours. They can take place before school, early in the morning, or during lunchtime, or after school. Sometimes some immigrant parents think this is not important. Actually, this is very important. If you choose a good school for your child, it would have good extracurricular activities. It could be things like sports, arts, hobbies, but they are important. When your child is applying to go to college or university, that college or university will look at these extracurricular activities. Also, when your child is applying for their first job, again, this is something that they would actually put on their resume. So make sure your child does participate in the extracurricular activities. Number five, sadly, there's bullying in Canada. Canada is an individualistic individualistic culture. That's where it stems from. And you need to be prepared as a parent to deal with this. So what you can do is make sure that you keep the lines of communication open between you and your child, which means your child needs to see you as a friend and trust you to tell you if they're experiencing bullying at school. And then, again, as a parent, you can contact school and try and ask the school to move your child to a different class. Or, in extreme situations, you might actually have to take your child out of this school, move, and put your child in a different school. Okay, number six, summer camps. Summer camps. So during the summertime, if mother and the father are working, the child, by law in Canada, cannot stay alone at home if they are under the age of 12. But even if they are older than 12, you don't want them to be staying alone at home. So what some Canadian families do is they send them to summer camps. There are different types of camps. There are camps that are called day camps, and in that case you will see your child every night because they come home and sleep and then go back. And there are camps where your child would actually physically live away from you, for example, for 2 weeks. Those camps, even though they're not part of the school system, they add a lot of value. And it's a good idea to find a summer camp for your child. You can find something with art, music, or sports, but you can also find something that will teach them leadership skills or things about technology. So there are various, and again, good ones go fast, so register your child in advance. Finally, dropout rate. 9% of all children do not finish high school in Canada. They drop out. They stop studying. It's not considered a tragedy. There are special schools where they're called adult high schools. Those adult high schools are for people who dropped out but then changed their mind and they want to go back to school and finish and get their high school diploma. So if that happens to your child, this is a venue. Also, it's something to keep in mind. In North American culture, it's not being looked down on. Actually, there are quite a number of people who are rich, famous, successful, and they are famously high school dropouts. So culturally, it is considered quite acceptable that it happens. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video and find it useful. And let me know in the comments below what you thought of this, what other topics you'd like me to cover in the future videos, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.